Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? It is Kyle and Mike from the Fantasy Phenom. We are back on March 1st, not February 29th. I apologize about the sheet blunder this morning. I know that I labeled the sheets February 29th. I didn't want to see the month end, you know.
I think he just had a 50% chance of getting it right or wrong and failed.
As a gambler, you'll take 50% every time.
What's up, Kyle? How you doing, man?
Living the dream, buddy. Julius Randle yesterday. How about that, Mike? How about Julius Randle? I gotta throw that
Yeah,
in there.
he must have been watching this show, man. He's got something out to get on me.
I'm telling you, dude.
I
There's
mean, I'll
centers.
stay firm.
I suck at centers. I'll admit that. But power forwards, Frank the Tank, Julius Randle. I did not hear one other podcast yesterday talk about Julius Randle for what it's worth. So for those of you that tuned in yesterday, and I know there were quite a few people that played him, congratulations. I hope you played him and listened to me. I don't know, man. My gut told me Julius Randle, and I love to play.
Yeah, no, it's awesome that.
I'm not gonna say I expected 62 points, but I mean, it's a showing nonetheless.
Yeah, it was definitely the best game of his season. So it happens, and yeah, like you said, we talked about him enough to spark some people to consider him, and that worked out well.
Hell yeah, buddy.
Yeah, so like yesterday, man, super low cash line. I think a lot of the chalk was like pretty much if you didn't play the chalk, you won all the money. You know.
Oh, also, by the way, D'Angelo Russell. So I had D'Angelo Russell and Julius Randle in a line last night, and I jumped from 200 to 290. No, 310, something like that. Crazy, and it put me into the cash line. So I'm extremely happy with that.
I just played double ups yesterday, and so like in the $25 single entry double up. Let's see.
Just want to say what's up, everybody that's tuning in. Nobody
Yeah, I
was
cashed with
on.
a 242.
Nobody was on D'Angelo Russell yesterday. Everybody,
Really?
Kemba was super chalk. D'Angelo Russell was 13% owned in my GPP.
Yeah, I was surprised by ownerships too. I had him everywhere.
I did too, and
Um,
Julius Randle was less than 10% owned. So those two, I mean,
interesting.
literally just skyrocketed me. DeAndre wants to know he's torn between Blake and Jokic. I go Blake, no doubt.
That's tough, man. On DraftKings, they haven't moved his price. I think I'm sticking with Jokic.
Okay, take
I
your
mean,
pick.
Blake Griffin is $300 more than Jokic today on DraftKings.
He's 200 more on FanDuel, and I think you pay up to Blake, in my opinion. Do you have the
Triple
winners from
triple
yesterday?
double yesterday. Yeah, so DraftKings was here, and I'll also give out the top 8 just because I never put it out yesterday, and I'll just shout them out because we haven't done that yet. How you feel about that, Kyle?
I'm with it. Let's hear it.
All right, so first place yesterday on DraftKings, a line of 324.5, which was close to 35 points higher than the second place. Was our
324.
quarter. Yeah.
So for what it's worth, actually, I'll wait. Go ahead and finish. Because I have some good news for you guys. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. No. So it's our quarter 270. His top 2 scorers. Well, he had Marcus Morris, Julius Randle, and Russell Westbrook. So
Nice.
I am sure if you played some money out there on DraftKings today, you had a nice night. On FanDuel was a new name, hadn't heard. Orange Crush 77. His line on FanDuel was 340.1,
Nice.
which I know that was another big line. And he as well. Well, he had the Morris brothers, Gasol, Westbrook, and I guess Conley was another big score for him.
By the way,
So what are you gonna say?
George Hill and Russell Westbrook, both. Again, dude, I'm telling you, there's a a true statement of you can realistically expect a ceiling of probably 100 points most of the time between Russell Westbrook and the point guard he's facing, huh?
Really?
I think so.
I
Russell
guess that's
Westbrook, he had, 67 yesterday. George Hill had 33. That's 100 points right there. D'Angelo Russell Westbrook did the same thing. They had 110. So,
yeah, I would say that's probably more of a FanDuel thing because on DraftKings I would expect
yeah.
it to be even more than 100. But yeah, realistically on every night for sure.
As long as the point guard is somewhat I don't even know what the word I'm looking for. Relevant, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right.
So what I wanted to mention, you mentioned that 324 score on DraftKings. How high was the cash line
Okay.
yesterday on DraftKings? Like,
Again, in my $25 single entry double up, I cashed with a 242 line.
so you remember a couple shows ago, probably like 2 weeks ago now, I think it was before the All-Star break, we talked about we were seeing a trend of the high floor optimals were the highest scoring.
Mm-hmm.
That trend is definitely holding true now. So last night, the three highest scoring DraftKings optimals were the floor ones, and one scored 321.
Wow. That would have definitely made some money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so, you know what I'm seeing as well is from a logic standpoint, it makes sense, and you can I think you can start building lineups from this standpoint. And I think a lot of people, including myself, I thought this for the longest way. I think a lot of people when they build GPP lineups, they're looking purely at ceiling, right? Like boom or bust guys, which is okay, it makes sense. But I think there's something to be said about building a lineup starting with a high floor. So let's say you have 9 guys that have the highest floor you can find, right? Guys that have a high floor are usually going to be your higher tier players, I guess you could say, at least mid tier to high tier, right? You're usually not going to get a scrub with a high floor. So, with that being said, if you have 9 guys that have a high floor, you can hope that 1 or 2 of them or 3 of them go off and hit a ceiling, right? So now you combine a high floor with 3 guys that hit ceiling, all of a sudden you have a really nice lineup. And it makes sense from a star standpoint of, you know, you'll see James Harden is often in the floor lineups, or a Russell Westbrook is often in the floor lineups. It makes sense. Those guys are going to have a high floor, but they also are studs and have a chance to get that high ceiling. So it's just something to think about when you're building your lineups.
I think another thing we're going off of that is you look at these high floor optimals, it could be a cool strategy to maybe take 2 or 3 guys out of there and put high ceiling guys in there.
Exactly.
So that could be a good tournament strategy because you know that, most of your lineup is somewhat of a safe play and you're kind of betting on a couple of your guys to hit their ceiling in a given matchup.
I agree completely. And so and that's what the whole point of the optimals are for, right? Feel free to use them verbatim if you really want to. I don't advise it, never do. But I love the idea of taking players that return in a lot of them, especially. So here's what I love the most. If you can find a guy that is in the ceiling range, the ceiling optimals, and also in the floor optimals, I think that makes a good GPP play.
Yeah, the whole point of it is to look at it and try and find the best strategy for you.
Yeah, no. So that's what they're there for. That's why we have 3 different categories. For those of you that are confused by them, the ones on the far left are based on projection, the ones in the middle are based on ceiling, and the ones on the far right are based on floor. So use them how you want, but it's what they're there for.
And just real quick to talk up these contests again, like I was saying. So I'm gonna go out and shout out the top 8 totals.
Okay.
As of now, we started, or at least I started my DraftKings contest on the 20th of December, and the top 5 finishers accrue points to a progressive total. So I'm going to shout out the top 8 totals. If you are in the top 8 by the end of this month, I forget the exact dates. I think it's like the 23rd or 25th or something of March. You're gonna get like a bracket style head to head for the grand prize, which is going to be just like a swag pack. We're going to have a jersey of your choosing and a hat, and it's just something to do for free for you guys. So right now we actually have a three-way tie on DraftKings. The total score is 52 points. It's Danny Williams 74. R quarter 2 and Steelers 703. I believe Steelers 703 is Eric and R quarter 2 is Ronnie. I'm not sure. Danny, I guess his name is Danny, right? Danny Williams, I would imagine. If not, shout me out and let me know. But then you go down to fourth place, obviously, since it's a three-way tie. Fourth place is R quarter 270, which is Ronnie's brother, who actually won today. So those guys in the top, both in the top four. Then I'm actually in fifth place. So props to me, not saying much. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm in sixth place. JC is actually in fifth place.
There you go.
Seventh place is Keith, Cool Cag. And eighth place is Jaguar Lou. I'm not sure who that is. But, yeah, congrats to you guys. I'll put out the post. I just wanted to shout it out there since I didn't have time yesterday. And that's on DraftKings. On FanDuel, obviously the contest is called the Phenom Duel. And you can find these links on Facebook. We pinned them to the top of our Facebook pages as well as on our Slack group in that section there. And so this contest has only been going since the end of January, so the scores are a lot smaller. So in first place right now is actually Z Bailey Bop, who's Zach, I believe, right?
Wait, Mike. Mike, hold on 1 second. This is important. Zach Shaw.
Okay, important.
Zach Shaw took home first place and $20,000 in a $25 GPP
Who did?
last night. Zach Shaw, he's in our chat right now.
Shaw?
Zach Shaw.
Look at him yelling in all caps. There you go, bro.
Congrats, man.
There you go. So let us know like your lineup strategy, build, all of that. I mean that's important to me at least. Is when I look at you, when I message you guys, I'll send you a message and because I want to win $25K.
Right, Zach. If you're in the Facebook group, the Fantasy Phenom movement, or the Slack group, post your lineup so we can give you a shout out.
Yeah, that too.
Gladly put you in the winner's circle. We have our Phenom winner's circle, so post it up in there and so we can give you a shout out. All right, now you can continue.
I'll go a little bit quicker. So Zach in first place at 28. And there's a lot of people that have scored points, so I'm like scrolling through like a couple hundred people here. Actually, on FanDuel, Josh Tannery, second place with 26 points, which is ironic. Then Straight Trippin', what's his name? I forgot again. Straight Trippin' in third place with 24 points. Fourth place is Hootfish, 22. Then Lucky Specialist and the Guru, 48-11, tied at fifth. And then there is a three-way tie with 20 for seventh place, and that's Dirty 24 Dozen. Steeler Nation 703 and Strike You Out 1130. So you guys right now are in the running to make that tournament, but again on FanDuel, all of these scores are very, very close. All really it would take is you taking two of them down before the end of the season to get into that tournament. So keep it up. Even on DraftKings, there's a lot of people that are close to that top, and so I know, for example, somebody, actually, I forget who it is, but somebody was in the top 5 4 days last week. So,
damn.
All it takes is a hot streak,
Hell yeah. All right, well, let's get into the slate. We got 11 games to cover today. Brooklyn at Sacramento. Darren Collison, Jeremy Lin, Ty Lawson, all in play. Where are you going?
Spencer Dinwiddie is where I'm going. Seriously. So, it's interesting because since he's been on the bench, Dinwiddie has been putting up points. Man, I don't know what if there's any rhyme or reason to it, but I mean, off the bench in the last 3 games, he's got a 40-point DraftKings game and then two 25-point ones in his last 3.
Okay.
And at 3,800. I mean, that's kind of ballsy, honestly.
that's a pure tournament play.
But again, against Sacramento at 3,800, I think that's a value that I'm looking at since he's been consistently giving you 25 DraftKings points in each of the last 4 games. Perhaps this Jeremy Lin coming back. I don't know. Open up the floor. I know they've been playing some weak opponents lately too, so
something to look at. All right, I love this, man. I'm going right back to Isaiah. I know he had a bad game against Atlanta. I'm going right back to Isaiah today. It's in Boston against Cleveland. I think he's going to get up to play. Kyrie defense.
Yeah, no, he probably will.
Everything, yeah.
I do want to go back to Sacramento, though, for a second, because, I mean, playing against Brooklyn, obviously, this backcourt is somewhat muddy. Any love for Collison or Lawson? Or
man,
they're playing against the Nets. They get the best plus-minus in my projections of any other team on the slate. So
I mean, Collison's in play. Collison's in play.
No Lawson, though?
I don't... it's sneaky.
So, Lawson, would you rather play Lawson or Buddy Hield?
Lawson. I think Lawson's safer.
Okay, I agree with you. So, Isaiah Thomas, we can move on now. So, Isaiah Thomas, I like your call getting up to play. 8,500 isn't terrible. You look at who else is in that price range at point guards. You have
8,500 on DraftKings.
Kyrie.
I don't know how you pass that up. 8,500 on DraftKings. I think Isaiah's a lock for at least 40 tonight.
Well, I mean, he's only got a 40 once in his last 5.
Yeah, this is going to be...
I'm sorry, it's a lie. He's gotten a 40 twice in his last 5.
I don't know. Just a gut feeling, man. I trust my gut.
I like it, too. I like the call. I mean, obviously, we always go stream against Kyrie. He's playing at home. Probably, I think this is his televised game on ESPN.
Oh, well, there you go. 8,500 on DraftKings. I don't see why you fade him.
He's a 1-point spread, so we'll see some fourth quarter Isaiah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's definitely one of a few that you're looking to pay up to. So, I mean, on DraftKings, I'm looking a lot at Giannis today.
It's going to be low owned. By the way, Darren Williams is playing today. I don't know how much he'll play, but someone will have him in the lineup, I guarantee you.
I don't know, I just feel like Isaiah's in the top 3 over 8K at point guard. And I understand if you want to lock him in.
Yogi Ferrell against Atlanta. I think you can look there. He's not my favorite, but you can look there.
Yeah, we haven't seen a dynamite game from Yogi Ferrell in a while.
Negative. What about Dennis Schroeder? 6,600 on FanDuel is a little too pricey for me.
Right, and I think this is probably going to be his first game back starting. I'm comfortable fading Atlanta, to be honest with you, against Dallas.
I am too.
Unless I see somebody's priced really under. But I don't think 6,200 is underpriced, you know?
So you love Drew Holiday today, and under 7K on DraftKings. I can see why.
Yeah, that price is very nice.
To put it nicely, yeah.
I still don't know if I trust it in cash, but the reason I say that is because you look at what, I mean, Drew Holiday was on a crazy hot streak before Boogie came. And Boogie, obviously limited his production and role. Without Boogie,
Against Detroit?
like he's safe to get you 35 points, And he's got 50-point upside.
By the way, Ish, because we're talking about this game, Ish Smith is... I don't think you should look at Reggie Jackson anymore. I think Ish Smith is I mean, they started Ish in overtime over Reggie. If that doesn't say something, I don't know what, you know what I mean?
I just don't think it can be trusted 100 at all. I just don't think I would enjoy. Uh, I gotta give a shout out to my boy Mike. He just sent me a text and said just signed up.
He just
So
he just canceled, but
yeah. Oh, he did. Well then, what are you doing, Mike?
he signed up and canceled. But anyway, yeah, Ish Smith and Reggie.
Okay, yeah. So, what are you gonna do like tomorrow if Reggie Jackson does play 35 minutes? Like it's too. I think the rest of the season we're gonna see. It's gonna be impossible to predict, but I think it takes me off both guys unless one of them just falls completely too underpriced.
I think as long as who I think you well, I think Ish is always going to be the lower price guy, and I think if you want to take a punt on either of them, he's going to be the guy that you go after.
I mean, you could have said the same thing about Jameer Nelson and Emmanuel Mudiay earlier this year. So you never know, and I think they just both become tournament plays from here on out. So in my opinion, because it's a back-to-back, I'd be all over Ish Smith over Reggie Jackson in this game against New Orleans. Obviously, it's a good matchup for both of them. But still a tournament play because I could still see Reggie playing minutes over Ish, but it's just up and down, back and forth, man. You never know.
I love Chris Paul tonight. I think you have to, and the fact that he's under 9K on DraftKings is just money to me. I love even on FanDuel. I did this. Isaiah Thomas and Chris Paul stack. Well, stack. They're my 2 point guards.
Yeah, this is probably the hardest part of this slate, in my opinion, as to where to go to. Just because I think Chris Paul and Drew Holiday are both underpriced, but I like Thomas's spot from a upside perspective, and I also like Giannis's upside against Denver. So it's going to be tough for me. I think right now I'm sort of just starting with Isaiah, and if I can't, I don't enjoy my lineup, going to Drew Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like I have a lot of money left over trying to get Chris Paul or Giannis.
Yep. What do you think about Jeff Teague today?
So it depends. I think if Tony Parker doesn't play, he becomes a little bit more intriguing. His home road splits are one of those guys that I factor in.
Yep.
As of recently, but 6,600 is another guy who just seems a little too cheap, right?
On DraftKings, yeah, 7,200. I think that's a fade on FanDuel.
Right. So I mean, when you're talking, he's the same price as Derrick Rose.
So I actually like Derrick Rose today. I don't think a lot of people do. I've been hearing a lot of people saying fade him.
Oh, I like Derrick Rose. I mean, the fact that there's no Brennan Jennings, they've said that he's going to get extra run.
I mean,
He's obviously always a tournament play, but he's got to get you to 40, and I guess he doesn't really have to get you to. He does get you like the high 30s, and he doesn't do that very often. He's done it 3 times in his last 10.
I think I'm going to fade the Minnesota-Utah slate, or point guard situation, Rubio and George Hill. I think I fade that comfortably. Brennan, yeah, we're not looking there. Elfrid Payton and Derrick Rose, I think, are intriguing. I tend to lean Derrick Rose more than Elfrid Payton.
Yeah, they're definitely both intriguing, but that is tough. That is tough. Again, if C.J. Watson decides to play, which I don't think he's going to, but if he does, that makes the decision a little bit easier. But I mean, both these coaches could limit their minutes, for no apparent reason,
Yep.
So I don't mind finding for Derrick Rose, I don't mind finding the extra 600 to get to Holiday, and for Elfrid Payton, I think I would save the 300 to go to Payton.
Interesting. Okay. And then John Wall against Toronto at home.
Always in play, right?
I'm sorry. They're in Toronto, not at home. I apologize.
Yeah, John Wall's always in play, though. I mean, he seems like a cash lock when you talk about these high price guys.
I don't know if he's a lock today with the other point guards around him. I think I would rather pay down for Chris Paul.
Well, I'm talking floor. Like when you're
Oh,
talking
floor.
floor,
Okay, yeah.
I
Well,
don't see who else above 8K has a better floor price comparison. You know what I'm saying?
I think in this game you can make the argument for Chris Paul.
Like you can. Yeah, at 8,900, that is a little too cheap, man.
On FanDuel he's 97, so it's only 700 cheaper. But I think you can still make that case. So
You definitely can. 11 game slate, you got to trust your gut with a lot of things. So, especially at point guard, this is a common theme at point guard on big slates. It's hard to pick and choose. And I'd probably recommend trying to get two of these guys.
I have Isaiah and Chris Paul already in my pre-build. So yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
All right, Tariq Evans. He's a little priced up, but Brooklyn, that matchup's good. He's getting 27 minutes. So what do you think?
I mean, remember the last time he played Brooklyn at home when he was in New Orleans, he had the best game
Season.
of his season. Yeah. Little priced up, like you said, and just the fact that we've already talked about all of these players that are seemingly underpriced on DraftKings. I'm gonna fade.
I actually have him in my early build. I liked him a lot today.
What's his price on FanDuel?
59.
Is he priced up there too?
59.
Yeah.
You know who I like a lot today? Tournament only. Sean Kilpatrick.
Yeah, I think, like I said, just with Dinwiddie and Kilpatrick, they both put up nice games against Denver. Yeah, this could be a good game, honestly. It could be. The 2-point spread, which is... Maybe we'll get a win, you know?
You're not winning in sack.
Maybe. I just said maybe. I'm hopeful, man.
Dude, I don't know.
Please.
You guys don't even have 10 wins on the year. That's ridiculous.
Yay.
Hey, you know what, though? You guys get a high first round. At least you'll be in the lottery.
I wonder why Tyreek Evans is point guard eligible. That is weird. Yeah, so you like how I just cut you short on that whole lottery thing?
I noticed. I was going to.
I'm going to talk over you from this point forward. Then you got the whole Tyler Johnson, TJ McConnell cash game situation. Both underpriced, but can't really get you much past 35, you know.
Do you think Avery Bradley's a tournament play today?
No, I don't.
I do. I think Avery Bradley. I love targeting shooting guards against Cleveland, and I know he's on a minutes restriction, but I think you can look there tournament only.
I think it's going to be a hefty minutes restriction too, though. I think this is a similar narrative to Jeremy Lin. You know, both mid-priced, but Jeremy Lin's minutes were restricted at 15, and then it's going to go up to 20, kind of like what they did with Favors. That's what I think. I'd be surprised if Stevens, plays him 20 minutes today.
Are you looking at Marcus Smart at all? Him and Bradley are the same exact price on both formats.
If Avery Bradley's going to come back and play minutes, which I didn't really see that he was. I don't know, did you read that he was going to be on minutes restriction today?
I heard that he was going to be on one the rest of the week.
Okay. I think if they're both back, I fade Smart and Brown until we figure out what's going to happen there.
Ironically, Brown had the best game last game with them all back.
He's coming off a good game, and he actually played well against Cleveland earlier this year.
Yep.
So I was somewhat looking at him as a tournament, as like a value play.
Well, you know why he plays well against Cleveland, right? He's coming for that goat.
No,
he's coming for that GOAT status. I'm telling you.
Man, why did How did I just enable that comment? But there's Man, I have like 10 guys in my point guard player pool I haven't yet to narrow down. So
There's a
I'm also
lot.
looking at Brogdon here against Denver. 5K.
Dude, I love Brogdon tonight.
Right, there's a lot of good. There's a lot of lots of love at point guard, and so I think I'm comfortable saying that under 6K, Brogdon's my favorite play. Um, and I like McConnell and Johnson. I think I would rather play. I think I'd rather play Tyler Johnson.
What are your thoughts
And then
on Giannis is really high priced though. He's 11-1 on FanDuel.
he is.
But against Denver, I think you can look there. You know who I like? Man, I love KCP today.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll get there. Are you on back over to shooting guard now?
Yeah, we're on shooting guard. Sorry, can you still not see the screen?
No, I don't know why it's just been blurry for me. But so yes, people start talking shit in the chat. You better say something, man.
What are your thoughts on Dellavedova at 3,800? David wants to know.
Oh man, I think the fact that Beasley is out, we could see some Brogdon Dellavedova backcourt.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's kind of a hopeful thing, you know.
It's a pure punt, but Brogdon, I think Brogdon is playing really, really nice basketball right now.
He is, and I think it's really just him, and he's in the rookie year conversation, man. I'm telling you.
As he should be. Sorry, Gary Harris. What do you think about Gary Harris today?
I like Gary Harris, man. I don't know let's see what his price went to.
He is 59 on DraftKings and 55 on FanDuel.
Yeah, 59 might be a little too high. I think with him and KCP right next to each other, that's like an obvious tournament cash. Like if you wanted to,
he's been Mr. Consistent
build your lineups that way. So I'm saying Harris is more of a cash play. KCP is a tournament play. 5,900 though for both of them seems to be a little too high for both of them in my opinion. Like I'd like to see KCP in like mid to low fives. They've both been somewhat consistent. I mean, KCP's got 3 straight 30-point DraftKings games now. He's in a good matchup.
That's what I'm looking at. I like KCP out of the Gary Harris, Will Barton kind of range.
Mm-hmm. What about Chris Middleton?
He's in play, man.
Shooting guard?
He's a small forward on FanDuel, but he is in play. Especially no Beasley.
Yeah, with no Beasley. I think he's definitely going to be in play today. I don't know that he'll be a secret, though. People looking for injury pivots. He seems like a easy one. What?
Theo's mad at me.
What else is in there?
What are your thoughts on Lou Williams, 6,400 on FanDuel, 61
that's definitely too high.
You think so?
For me. Mm-hmm. Too high.
Oh, did we miss? We did. Oh, shoot, Matt. We missed no Wes Matthews today. Seth Curry.
Yeah, Seth Curry. Yay. So excited about that. Yeah, I guess he's been consistent. He's in a good matchup, and there's no Wes Matthews. Okay.
I know you hate Seth Curry.
Who's going to start?
I like Seth Curry.
Who's going to start for
Dorian Finney-Smith?
Finney-Smith? Yeah.
Clearly Seth is the better of the Curry brothers, right? He's an ex-King, so I've seen him. We all saw Steph. He went 0 for 11 from 3 yesterday. He's clearly out of his prime.
How do you not push that thought away? God. So I like the fact that Drew Holiday is actually shooting guard eligible is interesting. The fact that I could play him there would probably help out lineup building for point guard. I just want to avoid this. There's like 7 guys when you talk from Lou Williams' price to Chris Middleton's price. And they're all like you got Pope, Harris, Curry, Fournier, Lou, Barton, Middleton, and I think I'm just going to avoid
that range.
the thing is, because that is that way, all of these guys are going to be under owned. And I know ownership's not really something to value on an 11 game slate, but there's something to be said about that. But the fact that also that DeRozan is only 9,300, I feel like that is somewhat cheap for him without Lowry.
He's 10.2 on FanDuel. No, thank you.
Yeah, no, that's probably more where he should be.
We said he was going to get to 10K by the end of the week, and here he is the very next
Yeah,
game.
that was quick.
What are your thoughts on James Harden at 12-2 against the Clippers?
11-7 on DraftKings, highest price guy on the slate. I mentioned the fact that I like Giannis. I could get up to Harden. I don't know. What are you thinking with Harden? Is he easy fade? I think on 11 game slate, I'm more apt to fade him and try to build my lineup other ways instead of just complete stars and scrubs. But there's okay value today.
And here's the reason I say that, Mike. I think Harden is he's going to have to come down on that price tag with Lou Williams and Eric Gordon now taking shots.
You're right. No, he hasn't really performed relevant to his price.
That's what I'm saying. I think
relative to his price.
His price needs to come down before he's rosterable again, unless you want to take a flyer. Because with Lou Williams there, man, Lou Williams can get you 30 points easy. And if James Harden is going to get you 50, I'm going to take Lou every time.
Yeah, I got you. So you, I feel like it sounds like you're on the fence with Giannis. Is that?
No, I like Giannis. No, I like Giannis. I'm on the fence with Harden.
Okay. Yeah.
I like Giannis.
I think.
But I'm not going with Giannis because I'm paying up at point guard today.
Yeah, I'd much rather play Giannis than Harden is what I was trying to say.
I agree with that completely. What about Manu against Indiana?
I still don't see his minutes being close to where like I would want them to be to play him. I'd almost rather play Patty Mills if Parker's out.
Okay. I like Manu today. I think he's sneaky. On an 11-game slate, I don't know that I go there, but don't be surprised if he has a decent game. Evan Fournier is someone I'm really looking at.
It is really cheap.
Who?
Manu.
Yeah, 36.
3,300.
Yeah. Evan Fournier is someone I'm definitely looking at, especially on FanDuel. He's only 5,300.
Would you rather play Fournier than Caldwell Pope?
You know what? I was looking at it, and I'm debating. I still am. I think
that was a debate that I had as well. What about Harris? Throw Harris in there, too.
Nah, Harris is the least of the three.
What about Curry?
Curry's at 6,100. I'll pass on that.
Okay, so Fournier or Pope. Give me some Caldwell Pope.
See, I like Caldwell Pope's upside a little more. And I like his involvement in the offense a little more. Plus, he's safe for minutes.
I agree. Minutes the big thing, and with that Frank Vogel rotation, man.
Yeah. Although I will say, you know what I do like about the Serge Ibaka trade the most is Vucevic. I like his role.
Vucevic is in a good spot today.
I do too, and I love his role with Ibaka gone now. Justin Holiday severely underperformed last game. I think he had like 8 points. Everyone was on him. I wasn't.
Really? Why? Why was everyone on Justin Holiday?
No Brandon Jennings.
Okay.
What do you think about him today?
I mean, he's always in my value pool. And I only put him in tournament lineups because he has gotten 25, 30 plus points. Fairly consistency to his price, but his floor is 0, man.
Yeah.
So you got to know that when you do that. I mean, I'm looking at his range at shooting guard, small forward. I think there's a couple other guys, like I mentioned, Dinwiddie and Mills, and I don't know. You mentioned Kilpatrick.
Yep.
Or did you? I don't remember.
I did mention Kilpatrick. All right, let me jump forward here. Dion Waiters. Love Dion Waiters tonight. Philly is awful against shooting guard. It is in Miami, so that narrative of him being from Philly doesn't really come into play as much, I don't think. But he's killed Philly this year. 7,100, I can get behind it. Dion Waiters can get you 40 points tonight.
Oh, yeah. Music for my ears, man. I love some Dion Waiters.
I know you do.
The problem with me is the fact that Drew Holiday is shooting guard eligible and only $100 more.
And you think Drew has higher upside tonight?
I do.
Okay, that's fair.
However,
on FanDuel, let's look at it from a FanDuel perspective where Dion is shooting
but
guard.
even in that sense, I don't think I'm the only one that's going to be thinking that, and the fact that there's really nobody else around them in price, it could make Dion Waiters somewhat of a good play.
I love Dion Waiters.
He is a good play. Yeah, he's a good play.
But you're saying from an ownership standpoint, it could be an even better play.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Yeah, the fact that people aren't going to look just right past him to Holiday only $100 more.
And then obviously we got to talk about DeRozan and Beal. DeRozan, I think is I just don't know if I can pay 10-2 for him on FanDuel. Bradley Beal at 7,400. I like that a little more, but if I'm gonna go
more than Waiters, though,
that's what I was gonna say. If I'm gonna go to Beal, I'm just gonna go down to Waiters.
Mm-hmm. But I just feel like the majority of this ownership on shooting guard is going to be this spread between this high 5 range.
I can see that.
And we're going to have, especially on FanDuel, when you have DeRozan that high.
Okay, so looking at small forwards now.
Okay.
Rondé Hollis-Jefferson, I think you got to look at him against Sacramento.
Oh, man, where is he at? He's a power forward on DraftKings. That's why I didn't have him there. Levert will be back today. He's got 2 straight 30-point games at 5K. I like that. I like the idea of that. Obviously he's a block steals guy, so yeah, I think this would be a good matchup for that.
What about LeBron James today? I think he's an amazing play. I like him more than Giannis today.
What is his price on FanDuel?
10-6. Giannis is 11-1.
10-6, 10-9. Yeah. I think I'm going to lean Giannis. I think obviously LeBron's a better cash play than Giannis. So if you have them both,
yeah,
play LeBron in cash, and I think Giannis has the potential for, I guess, the same upside. So I can see what you're saying is why you would want LeBron over Giannis, I mean, they both have the same upside, but LeBron's a safer floor.
Plus, he's going to be going up against the GOAT, and he's going to want to show out.
Gotcha. Is that Jaylen Brown, you mean?
Yeah, well, obviously.
Gotcha.
I'm glad
anyway,
you know now.
We are moving beyond that. Now,
so
going back to...
let's talk about Jaylen Brown for a second, because he had a really good game. And no, this is from a serious standpoint. Do you think he can, with Avery on a minutes restriction, do you think he's in play at 3,800 on FanDuel?
That's going to limit his minutes, too. So, no, I don't.
Because I wasn't looking at him, but you mentioned him, and I kind of
thought I didn't know that Bradley was playing. I'll be honest with you, and I thought I have him in my player pool, but that was just because of what he did. He's done against
Cleveland.
Cleveland, and let's see, in the 2 games against Cleveland, he's averaging 25 points. He's coming off of a good game. I mean, did Bradley play last game?
Bradley did play last game. He played 15 minutes, I believe.
Okay, then maybe not. I mean, obviously, he played 26 with Bradley, also in the mix, so I imagine you got to look at something similar for him. I mean, obviously, they like Jaylen Brown a lot in Boston, and he has been shooting the ball well lately. So, yeah. I changed my mind. I think he still is in play, but I caution.
For me, he's not in play, only because of the slate.
Now,
I don't want to fish for too much value.
So you mentioned RHJ at 5K.
Yep.
What about Would you play him over Terrence Ross at 5,200?
Absolutely not. Terrence Ross is who I build every single lineup around today.
Yeah, I set you up for that spike. I agree, man. We're getting somewhat good at this. But yeah, so 35 and 33, no Aaron Gordon, potentially with a quad bruise. And you can just ask Cody Zeller, those quad bruises, man.
They limit you.
Those things are rough. That
Nah,
sucks for Gordon. I kind of would be on Gordon in this matchup, I think.
even if Gordon was playing, Ross is. I cannot believe that he's only 4,400 still on FanDuel. That blows my mind.
He's a streaky shooter. The fact that they're getting him 15 shots. Remember when I was on the show and he went 4 for 17? And I was like, if he shoots 40% from the field, he's going to get you 30 points. And he shot 66% from the field.
Yeah, but
hit 10 shots.
He needs 22 points. That's a couple steals, you know what I mean? A couple rebounds. He's getting minutes. I don't understand how he can be at 4,400. But I'm going to take advantage of it.
Oh my God, he's still at 4,400?
4,400 on FanDuel.
Yeah. No, that's definitely a must play. It's probably good chalk in my opinion. And then I think him at 52 is even worth considering. I mean, obviously you have some better players overall in my mind. Maybe not fantasy players, right in that same range with Jay Crowder and Tobias Harris being
Ross is
only $100 more than him.
Chalk.
Exactly. So potentially could be a tournament fade on DraftKings if you are into the Tobias Harris or the Jay Crowder pick. Because since everybody's going to be on Ross, those guys are going to be, or even Trevor Ariza for that matter, I think he's in a good spot.
That's fair. Where we at? Dorian Finney-Smith is starting against Atlanta. That'll move Harrison Barnes to the 4 still and Dirk at the 5.
Is he minimum salary?
He is.
Last time he started at minimum salary, I played him, and he did well for me. I don't really like this matchup with Thabo Sefolosha, so I think I'm going to fade it. But minimum salary, I think there's 3 guys I'm looking at. It's him, Tyus Jones, and Donatas Montejunas on DraftKings. So if you want a 3K punt, those are the 3 guys I like.
Okay. So obviously no Michael Beasley. Chris Middleton is 5,100. It's a little high for what I would like. And I think, to me, when I'm looking at value, I'm going to go right down to Terrence Ross. So I do like Middleton's spot, but I'm going to go right down to Terrence Ross.
Again, Middleton's another guy you could pivot off of Ross too on tournaments. And if you wanted to go Middleton, I mean, Middleton is a stat stuffer. He takes shots when he's open. He relies on rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, and I mean, Denver. They're a young team. They turn the ball over. I like this spot for Middleton. I think he's a little bit overpriced, but I'm curious what his minutes will be without Beasley today in a high-paced game.
Are you looking right back at Marcus Morris today?
I'm thinking about it, to be honest with you. Normally I wouldn't.
Really nice game yesterday.
Oh, my God. Yeah, he took 23 shots. So.
Oh, you know what? I missed this. How did I miss this? Gallo or Wilson Chandler against the Bucks. I like attacking the wings. Do you look there?
I'd rather play Chandler.
I agree with that.
But no, I don't know that I'm looking there. I'm very enticed with this Andrew Wiggins price drop against Utah.
Against Utah, yep.
7,400 is too cheap for him, but against Utah, it's like, man. I don't see myself doing it, but this is what they're trying to do to you, man. They literally are.
They entice you.
They really do.
So Marcus Morris, talked about him. Definitely a play you got to look at.
Yeah, I mean, I'd much rather play him over Porter at the same price, or him over Barnes even at the same price.
I don't know, man. Barnes could be enticing tonight.
Against Atlanta?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get behind that. Especially with no Wes Matthews.
Here's a play I really like. Trevor Ariza tonight.
I like a lot in this game, honestly.
I do as well.
Especially Ariza, just because he gets minutes, big minutes. Now he really is in somewhat of a shooting streak. I mean, over those last um, 5 games, his highest field goal percentage has been 37%. So he's again in a really rough shooting streak. What you got for DDP for small forwards?
Uh,
I mean, over the season. Now you
LA
can't do last 5 or 10.
LA has given up 44 DraftKings points and 38.6 FanDuel points on the season.
So it looks middle of the road,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, this price seems very fair.
It
The minutes
is.
he's going to get in the nice matchup, fantasy matchup. The
So,
highest projected fantasy scoring game on the slate.
as it should be. I love a lot from this game. And there's a lot of high price pieces you're going to have to pick and choose where you want. Are you looking at Kawhi against Indiana?
Could be sneaky today, man.
8,900. He's going to go super low owned because of the other players.
Right, but again, ownership is something I'm not really considering much on a slate 10 or higher. Um,
Don't expect. Don't be surprised if he's under 10% owned, though. That's all I'm saying.
in the one game he played against San Antonio this year, he dropped 52 points, 32 real life points. So, yeah, I mean, it's happened before. Yeah, I think it's a good play. I think he's underpriced. I think Covington is overpriced. I think Melo is overpriced. Wonder what Melo's done against Orlando. 35 over 2 games against Orlando this year. I'm going to fade that. Chandler and Gallinari, I think, is an intriguing way to go.
Here's
What are
the
you
problem I
thinking?
have with those two is I was looking at their past game logs. They're literally right at 28 to 30 points every game, 25 to 30, and so I'm not seeing upside right now with that Denver rotation.
Yeah, there's really not much except for Jokic. Jokic is the only guy, and I think Jokic is in a really good matchup today. So I could limit them for that reason alone.
Paul George is a fade for me. Gordon Hayward is a guy I'm looking at, Mike, and him and Wiggins are both the same price. Well, almost 76, 74, and 82, 81. I think I like
I
Hayward.
mean, I feel like we're just this player pool is getting too big. I think it's going to benefit our viewers to go back at the end of this and kind of go through each position and really pick high, mid, and low price guy at each position because there's a lot to love on this slate. What do you think?
That's fair. I just when I'm looking at guys that I'm rostering, I mean from small forward, there's not too much. I'm looking at LeBron James. Terrence Ross is a lock for me. Trevor Ariza. Gordon Hayward. Andrew Wiggins is in play, but I like Hayward more than him. Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, I don't think Wiggins is in play on FanDuel. I don't think he is.
Okay. What about... So you don't like Carmelo against Orlando, obviously.
No, I'm not going to go there at 8K. I play for Kawhi at 86.
Okay. Covington against Miami. You don't like that? Not at this price?
I think he's overpriced.
It's fair.
Yep.
Otto Porter against Toronto is someone I was looking at as well. 64.
I mean, you guys know I'm just not high on him as a fantasy player. I like his game, but it's hard to trust Porter.
It is. He's a tournament-only play, but I do like Porter today against Toronto. And then you can get sneaky and play Bogdanovich if you want. I'm going to stay away today. Like I said, I would rather just pay up to Ross at 44.
Not on 11-game slate. So would you play Porter over Marcus Morris?
Yes.
Okay. What about Tyreek Evans?
No. But I actually had both in a lineup, so if that helps.
Yeah, I don't know that I think I played Morris over Porter and Evans. So I guess we're a little off there. But it's all good.
Agree to disagree. So here's my money position right here. Power forward. And
Take it away.
I expect to keep rolling tonight. I love me some Willie Cauley-Stein tonight.
Yeah, I think he's in play. Obviously against Brooklyn, everybody's in play. The fact that he's still a power forward on FanDuel
Yep.
makes him much easier to roster. He's not eligible to be power forward on DraftKings.
Yeah, I love that price point on FanDuel. 5,400 is extremely fair. I'm looking.
So you're high on Blake.
I am super high on Blake. I think Blake can get you 50 points today. I think his floor is probably 40.
I could see that. 440 against in this matchup against what, Ryan Anderson?
Mm-hmm. Actually, no, I'm gonna say a floor of 35. Floor 40 might be a little too high because things happen. 35 is a good floor, which is really good for 3.5 value as a floor is really good.
To me, if I have Griffin in my lineup, I want Chris Paul. Just for the rule of thumb.
I agree.
And I think I would if I'm really high like you are, I think I would start my lineup that way. But then I would want to pick somebody to really run it back on the other side too. And
see, that's why I look at
I
Ariza.
don't know. That's what's. Yeah, I guess Ariza could come into play with that. Yeah.
And even Lou Williams. I like Ariza and Lou Williams tonight. I like Lou more than James Harden for the price points.
I think I'm gonna sit on Lou. I don't know.
Okay.
I also do like picking between Redick and Crawford today. I think I lean Redick in the tournament.
I also go with Redick as well. I can't believe we skipped over the shooting guards from LA. I don't know why we did that. They have to be in play against Houston.
Got him now.
Yeah.
Davis, no boogie.
I have to look at Davis. But I go Blake.
Yeah, he's the highest priced power forward, probably on both sites. 10-4. I don't know. Against Detroit, I think I'm going to fade that. Yeah, I think Blake is the top power forward on the slate.
What are you looking at with Dirk against Atlanta? I think I fade that against Dwight Howard.
I agree. Yep.
What about Ilyasova against Dallas? 4,000 on DraftKings. Some good value.
No.
See, I'm
not feeling Atlanta's Millsap, or I guess maybe Howard. Howard is a little cheaper. 6,500 is pretty cheap for him, but still, I'm not happy about it.
I think Ilyasova on DraftKings is good value, 4K. Jokic is someone I'm really torn on. At 9,800, I'm not playing him because of Blake. I'm going Blake instead of Jokic. 8,800 on DraftKings is a lot more rosterable, though.
What's Jokic's price on FanDuel?
98. See, to me, I would rather just pay up 200 for Blake.
Well, it's pay up 300 for Blake on DraftKings, so it's pretty much the same conversation. I don't know. It's a solid argument, man. It really is. I do like their spots for both of these guys. I think they're both in good matchups. They both have great upside. I tend to feel like Jokic could get to 70 points, whereas the rest of his team could underperform.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I feel like in order for Blake to reach 60, he needs to go. Yeah, he needs the rest of his teammates to have a good game as well. So yeah, it's a solid argument. It is. Saric, man, I don't know what to say about this guy anymore. He is almost safe for cash.
He's still balling, dude. Since Embiid's been out and Noel is gone, his usage rate is
nuts, man.
His usage rate is like 30%.
In his last 3 games, he's averaging 43 DraftKings points. On the season, he's averaging 24.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the dude is he's very somewhat consistent.
So they moved John Henson to power forward today.
Who did? FanDuel?
Yeah, are you looking there at all?
Maybe just to trap you into playing him.
I hate his game, but it's not a bad.
He's always in play,
Yes,
obviously.
especially
You
against
never know when he's
Denver.
going to get minutes.
Especially against Denver, that's
You
not a
never know.
bad spot.
You
Here's
never know
someone
what
I'm
he's
looking
getting.
at and I'm going back to is Tobias Harris.
Yeah, he was very much limited with Marcus Morris going off last game. They actually played a lot of Stanley Johnson to slide Marcus Morris to the power forward spot. Oh man, so I like his game. I like this matchup for him. Actually, I don't know that I love the matchup,
I'm not in love
but I
with
like his
it,
price.
but yeah, I like the price and the upside. So we talked about Blake. I love Blake today. I mean
Would you
Anthony.
trade Tobias Harris over Trevor Ariza?
No, no.
Yeah, I don't think I'd do that either. But again, Trevor Ariza's such a scary proposition, man. He's on a big shooting streak, so you're really banking on his shots falling today.
Yeah, you're hoping that he bounces back.
Yeah, he's not someone I cash in there.
Blake Griffin, obviously I love him. Again, I think he's the safest, and I'll even go. Actually, no, I won't go there. I'm not going to say he has a higher ceiling than AD, because he doesn't. AD has a really good matchup.
I think LaMarcus Aldridge is intriguing today at 6,400.
He killed the Pistons
Much
last
rather
time.
play him. Yeah, I'd much rather play him than Porzingis or Ibaka.
Agree. I'm not looking
Markieff Moore.
I'm not looking
Markieff Morris is also intriguing. Him and LaMarcus Aldridge at the same price range, and we mentioned Harrison Barnes as well. I think those three guys right there are where I'm going to make my decision for mid-priced if I'm going there.
Okay, so here's someone I'm gonna get you guys on, and it's a punt. I'm not gonna lock this in, but Gorgie Dang. I like his matchup against Derek Favors. I know he struggled last time in Sacramento, but he averages 4.96 times value on the road. Averages.
Yeah, he's played well against Utah this season, averaging 35 minutes a game in the two games and 29 DraftKings points, which was kind of be where you're looking for. His overall upside is always going to be limited, especially in this matchup.
Yep.
And on this team.
He's the guy you're playing for his floor.
Right. So he's more of like, if you're playing him in tournaments, he's more like a single entry, 3-entry max tournament type player. He's not one of those guys I look for to play in one of those big tourneys, you know?
Agree. But just someone to, if you need some value at power forward, just someone to think about. I don't think a lot of people
I imagine Jeff Green will start if Aaron Gordon is out. He's under 4K. I think Skal Labissiere is, I don't know if I pronounced that right at all, but Labissiere.
I like Skal.
You know, against Brooklyn, I think he matches up well with Rondé Hollis-Jefferson. I could see that getting extra run together. So I could go there at power forward at 3,500.
Another guy
anybody
you can
else?
look at? Yeah, Markieff Morris.
Well, yeah, I mentioned Markieff Morris. So him, Barnesy, and Aldridge.
Yeah.
All around the same price.
I think I like Aldridge the most, but I think you can look there.
What about Olynyk's price has dropped now to 4,200 against Cleveland since he's not been playing much the last few games. Last 3 games, he's under 20 minutes.
You know who I like actually from that situation is Al Horford.
Yeah, I could get there too.
Al
His
Horford,
price has come down a lot.
And Al Horford kills Cleveland.
Again, another guy I would look at down here for power forward is Donatas Montaiunas. I don't know if he is a power forward on FanDuel or not, but without Boogie, I think at minimum salary, yeah, there's someone you can look at there.
Brook Lopez against Sacramento, is he in play?
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's a better overall player than anybody they have in their front court. 6,500 on DraftKings. I would much rather play him than Serge or Dwight Howard. He kind of stands out to me, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I like. Are you looking at Kufus at all? 4,200.
I think so. He's also become power forward eligible on DraftKings, so I think he's in play.
I don't think he has the
I'm not excited
upside.
about it though.
Yeah, he doesn't have the upside that Willie Cauley Stein does, but that's reflected in the price for sure. We talked about Dwight. You can get behind
So
that.
DeAndre, I think if we're both really high on Blake, I don't see how that we could also be really high on DeAndre. You
I,
know, and
I'm still high on DeAndre, and I think this is a game, and it's not often. I think this is a game where you can play both.
it is, but it's going to limit their overall upside. If we play them both, both want them to significantly outperform their price. It's going to limit their upside. It's just inevitable. So it's not something I generally like to do. Again, in like a larger tournament.
Drummond against New Orleans. Could be somewhere you look.
Yeah, I think that's another tournament play that is pretty solid, honestly.
I don't think a lot of people will be on him either.
But I kind of like Vucevic more than Drummond today.
Yeah, I love Vucevic. It's gonna get there.
And you're gonna have to make that decision. So they're $200.
You steal my thunder.
They're $200 separate. I almost think Vucevic is a little overpriced at 7,400, but his matchup is solid, man. 40 plus 3 of last 4, and
Vucevic is 74. Gobert is
Drummond's
72.
Yeah, Gobert is 72 as well.
Gobert. I like Gobert the best out of all three of those guys because he eats up on the boards, and Karl Anthony Towns is not a good rebounder.
It's a tough decision, man. It really is. I'm not gonna say I don't like him. Again, this is the slate we're on, and so there's a lot to love. And I'm just gonna stick with Vooch. It's not that I don't like Gobert. It's just that's.
I love Vucevic as well.
I like his offensive game over Gobert's.
No, you're right. I like Vooch more than Gobert, especially on FanDuel. He's cheaper. Yeah, no, you're right. Kyle O'Quinn, everyone's on him today, and I don't know, man. I have my center luck hasn't been right as of late, but my gut tells me trap.
I don't know that you can do it, man. I really don't, especially on FanDuel. I don't know that you can fade him in cash. Just because he's going to start, there's really nobody else to back him up besides Porzingis, and Porzingis has got to start the game too. So I think you're looking at a minutes floor close to 28 and 30. This guy's been a points per minute monster, not just this season, but in his entire career. He actually played in Orlando, if you factor that in. And on the season, starting without Hernan Gomez, man, I wish I had the numbers in front of me, but I know his per 36 is close to 40 fantasy points.
I can tell you what his last 4 are, which I believe are the relevant ones. So,
starting without Hernan Gomez?
118 against Boston, he had 4.7 FanDuel points. Against Washington, he had 35. Against the Lakers, he had 12. And against the Clippers, he had 37.
And that's without Hernan Gomez in the lineup.
I do believe
I don't know that I don't know how that he's not going to score 4 points if he gets 30 minutes. So
no, not if he has.
I don't know how that's right.
He hasn't had 30 minutes in any game that he started this year, for what it's worth.
I don't know. I don't see who's there as his backup. I guess Marshall Plumlee, right?
Yeah.
Marshall Plumlee is really the only guy I could think of that would take his minutes away. There's no Joakim Noah. There's no Willie Hernan Gomez. So whether you like him or not, paying off that price tag shouldn't be tough, man.
Sam mentioned, how come we aren't talking about Dedmon? Great matchup. I don't like Dedmon against Miles Turner. I think Miles Turner is an underrated defender.
Dedmon's minutes, I just don't.
And Pau Gasol's back.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dedmon's still starting, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, but
So, but
Pau's going to get
still,
25 minutes.
yeah. So I think his minutes is kind of what limits you there. I think his price has been steady dropping, and it will continue to. So. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you were high on him, I don't see that it's a terrible matchup. I don't necessarily think that Miles Turner is a bad matchup. But, like I said, I'm high on Aldridge, so it's kind of getting me off Dedmon. But if you're high on him, I think it could be a nice pivot on FanDuel from O'Quinn.
I love this guy today, and I'm surprised that I haven't heard his name more often. Hassan Whiteside against Philly.
Yeah.
Kills Philly. He's
I
at
also
home.
like Rashawn Holmes today in that price range. I was going to say that before you said Whiteside, but it kind of correlates there. So, the O'Quinn, Dedmon, Holmes price range. I think you can make a case for Holmes there.
It's fair too. Holmes has been balling. He had 40 points last game. I think his price is starting to climb a little bit, but
I think Willie Reed is still questionable, or he's out.
He's out, so that James Johnson.
Yeah, it'll be some run for James Johnson and some Okara White and some extra minutes for Whiteside. Granted that he isn't
foul trouble.
In some sort of foul trouble or something.
I think Okafor gets in some foul trouble easily today, which puts me on Rashawn Holmes.
Right, that's what I was going to say too. I like the fact that there's no Willie Reed for Rashawn Holmes as well.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Mike.
I'm safely fading Okafor today, and I'm considering Whiteside, but I'm almost always going to play Jokic at $500 more.
So let me ask you this.
What's up?
Gorgie Dang and DeAndre Jordan, or Rashawn Holmes and Hassan Whiteside?
Like rostering them both?
Which pair are you going to go with?
I think I go Whiteside and Holmes.
I'm with you right there. Okay.
Why, is that the same price?
The combination of prices are the same, yeah.
Right, yeah. You mentioned Horford. Tell me on some Horford, man.
Man, okay, let me pull up Horford's last couple games against Cleveland.
Because I don't like looking really at anybody else in that price range. I don't really like Gasol. I don't really like Monroe. Actually, I could get behind Monroe, but he's obviously what he is. Gortat, nah.
Come on.
What about Tristan Thompson against Boston?
You can look
Same
there.
price as Horford.
You can definitely look
Same
there.
price as Cauley Stein. I think that could be a sneaky play.
Okay, so Al Horford versus Cleveland. 39 points, 30 points, right, which is right at 5 times value. 42 points, 31 points, 43 points, 44 points, 26 points.
This is career?
Yeah, these are career games.
Interesting.
He does really, really well versus Cleveland.
A lot of centers today, too. So you're going to have to, it's all going to come down to roster construction. A lot of these guys are in good spots. I wouldn't mess up your lineups to go from, I wouldn't mess up your whole lineup to try and go from Horford to Brook Lopez,
No, I agree. I think
although they're both in good spots, like even if you love Brook Lopez, I really want him, I think you can sacrifice $1,000 if you need to and go Horford and still kind of.
You can be okay.
This is just an example, by the way. I'm not saying like those are my favorite two guys. Same with point guard. I don't think you really have to necessarily lock yourself into these point guards in the mid range or to the high to mid range. They're all going to come down to roster construction for the other positions and getting the guys you really, really like on the wings, and seeing what you got to spend at point guard and center, since there's so many guys that we're high on. I could rattle off a few more that I like. I mean, Nerlens Noel, obviously, I like against. This game.
I was corrected. Elizabeth just pointed out the games were a Quinn at 13 and 4.8. Gomez played, so My
Yeah.
apologies.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know how that's right, and especially with no Noah and no Hernan Gomez. I don't even know if we've seen a game with no Noah and no Hernan Gomez.
That's true.
Man, if you want to go cheap, I don't even think you really go cheap today.
The cheapest I go is Terrence Ross. Actually, Terrence
Well, I'm
Ross.
at
Terrence.
center.
Oh,
I'm
at
at
center?
center. I don't know if you go any cheaper than O'Quinn.
No, I
It's
don't.
not really any point to.
No, I agree with you.
All right, you ready? You want to do these positions, and then I feel like we're running a little over.
Yeah,
But
we're already at an hour and 15.
all right, so I'll set it up. I guess favorite player, 8K and above, 5 to 8 below 5 for each position. How about that?
All right, below 5. Oh, each position?
Yeah, each position.
Well, shit. Okay.
And you do FanDuel, I'll do DraftKings. I got DraftKings pulled up, so I'll go point guard, favorite player over 8K, Isaiah Thomas. Favorite player 5 to 8. Um, hmm. I'll go Drew Holiday,
Yep.
and then below 5. Hmm.
So mine, I'll give you mine
Below
real quick.
5, I'll go Ish. I'll go Ish.
Okay. Mine is Isaiah, Drew, and under 5. Where was that? I just had him. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Actually, Ty
Actually,
Lawson.
no, I'll change it. I'll change to Patty Mills.
Okay. I like Ty Lawson.
Okay, Lawson's good too. I would probably go Brogdon, but he's right at 5. So for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Um,
Shooting guard, over 8K.
There's not much to
There's
look at.
not. DeRozan by default, I would think. Actually,
Right.
no, I go Giannis over 8K at shooting guard, but he's not shooting guard eligible on DraftKings.
No, so I'll go to Rosen.
Mid range for me, I'm gonna go Lou Will. Actually, I lied. I'm gonna go Deion Waiters.
How about give me Brogdon here? I'll do because he's shooting guard eligible.
Okay. And then under 5K, I think Case. Oh, he's not under 5.
Mm-mm.
Under 5, give me JJ Redick.
That's what I was gonna say with JJ Redick, but to pick somebody else, I'll go Tyus Jones.
Okay, that's sneaky.
Minimum salary.
Small forward under 5K, no question. Terrence Ross. Over 8K, LeBron James. And mid range, I'm going with. Damn. Gordon
Not
Hayward.
much.
They're both out of that price range. You know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Otto Porter.
Okay. So yeah, I'll go high priced. I'll go Kawhi. Mid range, I'll go Terrence Ross. Um, Cheap, I'll go Jeff Green.
Okay.
Barring that, what's his name is out. Not excited about Jeff Green though.
Yeah. Over 8K at power forward, Blake Griffin. Under 5K, I'm going to. Oh man, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Ursan Ilyasova. No, Rashawn Holmes. Rashawn Holmes. And then mid range, I'm gonna go. Oh man, I'm gonna go. Marcus. Yeah, I'm gonna go
Well,
with
yeah,
Marcus. I'm gonna go with
those are
Marcus.
my picks on the money, so I guess we do agree at power forward today, which is ironic enough. Would you rather play Porter or Aldridge? Because Porter's power forward eligible on DraftKings, so they're around the same price.
I'd rather play Aldridge at power forward if you want to put another small forward in.
Okay. Yeah, so my picks are the same. I'll go off. If I couldn't pick those guys, I think I would go above 8K. I think I would go probably Davis because Blake Griffin's really the only guy I'm looking at up there.
Yeah.
Mid range, I think I would fall to Markieff Morris if I couldn't play Aldridge.
That was my next.
And then under 5K if I couldn't play. You said Rashawn Holmes. I think.
Look out for Patrick.
Yeah, I think I'm looking at Scal at 35 as somewhat of a punt play today.
Look at Patrick Patterson.
Oh no, I'll go Monty Eunice at minimum salary.
Okay. At center, my under 5K is going to be Kosta Koufis. My over 8K is Hassan Whiteside. And my mid-range is DeAndre Jordan.
Okay. I'm going to go Jokic. Vucevic. And although I do like Willie Cauley-Stein. And then under 5K, man, there's really not much. I think I would stick with Rashawn Holmes there. I wouldn't really go anywhere else. Again, Monty Eunice is there too at minimum salary.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. I know the show was a little longer today. Again, let us know if you guys need anything. We will be in Slack. Feel free to DM us, tag us, any of that. It is currently going off right now. Everyone's in there talking about the lineups. So if you haven't already joined Slack and you're a pro member, shoot me an email. I'll get you verified and then get you in Slack. If you're not, click on the sign up link below. You get a free 7-day trial. Everything's included in that 7 days. Literally no reason not to try it. After the 7 days, if you decide not to cancel, that's when the subscription kicks in. But as long as you cancel before then, if you don't enjoy it, then you're not charged at all. And you just got 7 free days of chopping it up.
Yeah, get in there, give it a shot. Again, we got NASCAR, PGA coming up. Hockey Channel's always lit up. So there's that as well if you want to give those contests a look. We do have free contests for all other sports other than basketball in there. The basketball ones are the only ones that are on the Facebook. Other big things coming. We got some hats that are getting made, some new era fitteds with our logo on them. So look forward to Kyle and I rocking one of those on the show soon, hopefully.
Yeah, we have those coming. So we're gonna check them out. As long as everything goes well with them, we are gonna start placing orders. So I posted a thing on Twitter asking how many people would be interested, and I have over 50% of the people that responded are interested. So definitely some interest there. They'll be, like Mike said, fitted. So we'll just get your size and go from there. And yeah, man, we'll be good to go.
Yeah, I'm not trying to think of much else I got to say. I'll be all up in there and building some lineups today, and yeah.
All right, guys. Man. Well, appreciate you tuning in again. We will talk to you guys in Slack. And good luck today, guys.